Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Fallout 3. Let's continue. So, we're checking out yet another metro station where we really have no business being here. Um, but whatever, we'll clear out this and then I want to try two things once we exit this area. So, we want to get rid of this area fairly quickly. One is we want to turn on the radio, which there's really no reason not to do it right now. Just Galaxy News Radio. I don't think you can even have it on inside a building, so that probably does highlight like where um, that probably does highlight where the lack of really recognizability and the fact that you should have the radio on is getting lost. Like, because if you're normally spending half your time inside these dungeons, for lack of a better term, which is what I would call them, then it would be silent. And it has been a very long time since I played Fallout 3 originally, so it's somewhat excusable that I would not have remembered how big of a role the radio played. It's not really excusable that the game doesn't make that fairly clear, though. Like, there's kind of no way you get around that part. I'm kind of hoping that this doesn't go very far, but seems like it probably does. We've got more of these dead mole rats, which at a certain level I wonder if the mole rats are for the most part dead and gone from the story. Yeah, kind of in almost sharp contrast to Skyrim, where you're fighting the Draugrs over and over again, and that's pretty much the only enemy besides humans you ever fight. The Fallout instead gives you a lot of feeling that you would spend a lot of times fighting things, but you kinda don't. Fighting a bunch of variety of things, and it's just not really the case. Badlands armor, Blade Master armor. Which one is the one? Talon combat armor is the one we're actually wearing. I'm at a 3. It's kind of ridiculous we even have helmets when they're really only giving you a damage resistance of 3, 1, 2, or 3. And I kind of do feel like, yeah, we're getting, like, we might as well just not be wearing a helmet if that's the case. And it does kind of, I think, make it seem fairly obvious that hats and helmets in this game are actually designed to be a source of special perks or something, not a source of actual defense. So they might as well have not existed at all as a defense item and only given perks. Yeah, we have a mole rat right behind us. Still didn't really move fast enough though to really be a problem. Do you want to look at the local map though? Are we finding everything we can find, or are we... Are we missing some sections? Like the mole rat's kind of a prime example of the style of creature we would like to be able to just shoot. Like, I really would just like to be able to dry fire a gun directly at this, fire one shot, and get that headshot in there. Or have some form of efficiency system happen where by the time I've killed 10 mole rats, I can just automatically shoot them on sight 10% of the time, and like evolve that with 20 to all the way up to like 100% of the time. So at a certain point, you just start walking by them and a bullet fires. No questions asked. I have no idea who Ryan Briggs is, but we'll hack his computer. Okay. Wares might be useful. Gains might be useful. Let's start with wares. 2 are right, so maybe ES. Okay. So, cases? 3 out of... Gains? Okay. We'll have to start over again. You can see how this is supposed to be easier because it's fewer letters. I'm not sure if that really... Tires. Let's find cares. Or wares. Yeah, so it was wares that time. There's no trick to that. That was just random. So here we have text. We can pretend like we're trying to read. And this might be something connected to the quest of the android who erased his memories. Well, this might have something, nothing to do with anything. This may just be backstory as to how the mole rats became mole rats. Clearly there's a lot of mad science that not only happens but works in this universe. What I've suggested in other RPG games is the idea that you have a just like generic aura about you, and if you get powerful enough, it starts to scare away enemies and they flee. I'm not super in the mind that you need to have an entire game or even tabletop version of this where you would just be fighting rats, which let's be honest, that's all mole rats really are, is rats with a different name and a different face on them. So yeah. So like the scent of death just proliferates your character or something like that, and it scares away low level creatures. Here you have a small corpse. Yeah, they really try to do a lot with this environmental storytelling, but doesn't really feel like they accomplish too much. Like, it often feels like they want to get patted on the back for dragging a skeleton in one place versus another, when every other game developer does that also. It's not particularly that special. I think I'm just gonna get stuck here. And while I can applaud environmental storytelling by placing corpses around a little bit, there has to actually be regular narrative storytelling on top of that to balance that out. And it doesn't feel like that's ever the case. We'll disarm some traps. That way we can get some XP. And it definitely is weird that you have like all these raiders. They are just clearly randomized generated raiders, and yet there's no story as to who they are. Like, sure, it's cool you tell me the backstory of how mole rats and giant fire ants get created, but I'm dealing with these characters more. Just have to dry fire. And there's Ryan Briggs. And the game kind of had glitched it there. And so he's like the named guy. Let's ask if we rearm a trap. Oh, you need higher skill than what I have to be able to rearm a trap. Interesting. Go ahead and use a stim pack. So he has an assault rifle. He has a bandana, bottle caps, safe key, tinted reading glasses, and wasteland surgeon outfit. Which... uh-oh. Save game. Anytime I get a little bit of a hitch like that, I want to save the game. because this game has crashed once already on me. Oh, and it sure would be nice to have some highlight. I mean, I can only really see these people so much as because they are naked and their skin kind of contrasts to the rest of the environment, but that's only after the fact. It's not when I'm actually looking for them. Okay. Really wish I could find something that would just increase my repair even slightly more. Probably wouldn't change too much. And we still can't drop things. It's almost like the game had a limit on the number of things you could drop. And that may not be the real case. It may be that you have to just be so incredibly far from enemies. Like these reading glasses are useless. Let's see if we can put some things that are probably not worth holding. Dirty water for 10. This is Dana's electronics that I could read. 3 stealth boys. Ashtray we don't need. Lunchbox we don't need. Cigarettes we don't need. Paint guns we don't need. This is a low value item. Low value item. Low value item. Let's see if any of these, like a bandana for +1 perception, might be better than anything else. See this helmet here. I should wear the hockey mask now, because if this is damage resistance of 3 and this is damage resistance of 3 and this gives me +5 to unarmed, I mean that doesn't really help with anything, but 15. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Alright. I'm just never gonna really be in unarmed combat. So it is kind of silly to put on the hockey mask. Would make a lot more sense to try and repair the bandana. Let's see, where are we as far as local map? I assume we're gonna find his safe. At least that would be my hope, is that we would find his safe down this way. Because if we don't find a safe down this way, then that'll be weird. Ryan Briggs Terminal. Blood pack. Pumpkin. Mole rat. Safe, fuse key. Line, congressional style. Okay. Scoped magnum. Mole rat meat. So clearly he was doing some kind of mad scientist. Maybe trying to domesticate the mole rats. Wonder meat maker. Alright. See how that works. Wonder meat. We'll take that. Suppose we could look at whatever this wonder meat is. So he's trying to, I think, use he's trying to use glue and mole rat meat to make something he could sell. Interesting. You can definitely tell how the interface is just kind of bad. There's really no other way to put it. Like, you kind of wish you could take this device with you, but I don't think it matters. But when they have to show you you've taken something away, and then you were given something, or you're taking two things away, and then you're given one thing that was created from those two things, and that takes a slow fade in, fade out of 4 or 5 different pop-up messages, you've made a mistake. And they already have the trade screen, so it would be fairly easy to just fencing, so it's not ing. And that probably means it's also not systems. I don't think that would be slumber. Or could be seaside. Yep. Yeah, they easily could have had the trade screen pop up at least for that machine. But you almost want want it to be more of a not user interface mechanic at all. Okay. I don't see any reason to do anything to pumpkin here. And it's not like the game here was giving me a ton of wonder glue all the way up here. That would have made a lot more sense, frankly, if we had been picking up just entire breadcrumb trails of wonder glue. And then it would have just eventually made the player go, why am I picking up so much wonder glue? Let's see. As far as the wonder meat, it's worth 120 versus mole rat meat being worth one weight for 20. So it's not like he's really improved it by much. So unless there is a quest specifically that comes back to figure out all about wonder meat, I think we've potentially hit a dead end there. Alright. Let's see, can we fast travel to this location? No. Are we going in the right direction? I think so. Am I gonna run into anything at all? I don't suspect I will. We're back to having enough bullets, as long as we don't run into anything awful. Yeah, and it's been long enough. So you would kind of think now would be the time that you would have gotten a schematic to make Wonder Meat. And then you would have been able to use a workbench to make it. I'm not even sure workbenches were really in the game originally, and that they weren't just something added later on in DLC. It kind of makes sense for them to not have that as a thing. Alright. I think we can assume we need to go back and sell some more stuff. So, yeah. Back to fast travel to Megaton. I don't think I really need to do too much here. If I have some scrap, I'll just sit on the scrap. Otherwise, I'm just gonna try and sell to Moira.
Any luck finding out how Rivet City got started?
Let's see.
No, history is what losers become. You go right back and talk to those people and find out something so we can make sure others learn from their successes.
Okay. I'm gonna get annoyed by her every time.
Absolutely.
And we will be, I guess, in just a weird position still where she has taken a lot of the caps that we gave her last time and left them on the cutting room. She's either bought inventory with that stuff, or those caps have just been lost. Alright. I don't think... Okay. It's the armor in particular that's the problem. Alright, so let's see what she has that she could give me. Like this motorcycle helmet with a damage resistance of 5 in its best condition might be the better move, just to reduce damage, although I don't know if I really need to reduce damage. In this combat armor, if she was to double up to like 36 and fully heal it, might be something to that idea. We can take all the stim packs. We can try and get the schematic. Because it doesn't seem like we're going to get that anywhere else. And then I need to start thinking about other things. Get rid of blood packs, buff outs, jet, medics, mentats. I'm going to hold on to this. Think we can, at this point, get rid of all the rataways. Let's see. Now, I'm asking for a lot of money to buy a lot of stuff. So, talon armor is 22. Or this weight might be better. Let's not get the combat armor at the moment. And motorcycle helmet we can find for free, I think, somewhere else. All those stim packs we can undo. So it's like the only thing I'm really trying to buy right now is the schematic, and I just can't really afford it. And I couldn't afford it even if I sold all the items I have. Okay. So, let's once again think about what we're selling. She just doesn't have any money. I mean, that's really what this just boils down to, is she has no money, so of course I can't really sell anything to her. Like, that's the closest thing to a full deal.
Good hunting. If you've got the caps, I've got the skill.
So let's see what she could do. This would, if this was repair, this would go to a damage reduction of 2. What else can she repair? Seemingly nothing. Apparently my repair skill is higher than hers. So, sure, I can spend 3 to repair that. But it's not really worth doing anything else.
The info you're bringing back is great. Looking forward to more.
So, yeah, just the idea of commerce kind of falls apart. She didn't really have anything in her inventory.
I wish there were more people like you in the world. I want you to have this. I hope it helps keep you safe.
So she gave me
No,
2
thank you.
muck fruit that time. So now they're just so happy with me. Now I'm gonna get interrupted. So no good deed
Best
goes
have cancer, because from the looks
unpunished.
of you, you're breaking rule number 1 right now. Yeah? What do you need?
I could buy, say, 20 stim packs now. And then we can try and sell some of these things. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. I'd give him a bunch of caps that we would then lose. So, are we really sure that's how we want to play this? Or do we want to buy a few less? 26 caps. 150 caps. Let's go with 2 and accept that.
You done? Good. Try not to hurt yourself.
So we made a little bit of money back that way by trading it in for stems. Now, has it been a day since we've come this way? I don't know. Like, it could have been, and it could have not been. Let's see. Heal ourselves to full. We completed the compound. What was that compound that it made? A stim pack was added. Good. So you can get like 1 stim pack off of these guys, it feels like. Alright. And let's see, submachine guns now. Maybe we can do something with. Chinese pistols versus Chinese assault rifle. I think we're back to Chinese assault rifle. Some of this stuff definitely should be in different locations. Like, I need to do a better job of sorting things. Alright, this one, Wanderer outfit. This gun. $26 for a 10mm with 250. Chinese assault rifle. We can equip. Chinese pistol can't be fixed. Combat shotgun. is still not quite ready to be used. Missile launcher. Sawed-off shotgun. Scoped magnum can be repaired. Okay. So let's start putting weapons specifically in this area instead. We'll leave this assault rifle. There we go. That gets a lot of that done. And then if we specifically put clothes in here, and then we come over here. Okay. So only clothes in there. Go back this way and look at weapons. There we go. So where's our next place where we can put things? We can... I guess we're gonna have to just expand out our aid items down this way. In the refrigerator. And then filing cabinet. Do we have anything else that matters? Miscellaneous stuff? Alright. Baseball glove, basketball, cherry bombs. We can just hold on to. Gnomes. Empty soda bottles. Fission batteries. We'll leave the house stuff somewhere else. Pencil. None of this. Pre-war books. And sensor modules. And the desk over here. We will... What, they house items? And see, that's getting me down to like 45. Which probably is about as good as we're gonna get. Yeah. So, do we have... everything I think we can set up here? I think that sets us nicely. We still have yet to find another bobblehead, and there's a decent chance I'll never find another bobblehead. Okay. I feel like there was something else I needed to do, but I don't think so. Oh yeah, scrap metal. Let's go sell the scrap metal and get some more XP. That'll get us down to like 40. Yeah, I have no idea if you really would get another opportunity for just a
What is it?
continuously
I sure am,
doable,
you see. What have
completable
you got for me?
quest,
Well, all right. Let me
Uh,
count out your cap.
like this, if you blew up Megaton. In fact,
Well, back to work.
it feels like if you blow up Megaton, well, there probably isn't a place where you could get a settlement. Your likelihood of reaching it is kind of low, or finding it is kind of low. Can't. We haven't discovered this location yet. So we're going to fast travel back this way. Nice and bright. And north should be the direction we need to go. This is, we were supposed to deliver a sealed letter to this area we haven't discovered. What does this say? Is that a building or a drive-in movie theater? That's a building. Parking meters. Interesting. How many caps do I have? 639. Return that. Still 639. So unless there was some kind of secret as far as activating these parking meters, it feels like that is a completely unnecessary thing that you shouldn't be able to interact with. It's fine that they have a 3D model showing it off, but it's kind of ridiculous that somebody spent the time animating it being activated. And I will say, without trying to spoil too much, there is a point in this game where there's quite a bit as far as 3D models and animations that are used, but then it's only really in that one point, and maybe a few other points like that where we see the parking meters being activated. Seems like we're gonna run into our first rad scorpion. See a rad scorpion and a mole rat working together. How far am I from where I'm supposed to be? Work our way down here. So the rad scorpion seems to not really have a head. And it might make some sense to shoot for its stinger instead. Well, that's the first one of those we've gotten, so we'll hold on to the poison gland. Wouldn't be surprised if there's a quest we're given at some points to collect several of those. Definitely feels like there's a lot of pop-ins still happening, and quite the awkward drop-off here. I would say games generally fail to scenic overlook. That they really generally fail to use Patrick's farewell. Let's read that. Use like far drops to your death as a way of creating a barrier, because I guess it just doesn't feel like a barrier. Too many people are going to jump to their death thinking they can make the jump, or thinking that they just barely didn't make the jump. So I guess this guy probably jumped to his death. And I bet we'd find a skeleton down there, but I mean, that still doesn't really help me. I want to take this nice and easy. I suppose if you had a more sci-fi game, it would be fairly easy to have some kind of warning pop up. Or you don't even, it doesn't even have to be a sci-fi game. You could just have the character say, I'm not going to jump that far. Can't make it. I'd die if I jumped here. Something like that. We have really lost that idea of the idea of playing as a character and maybe puppeting that character, but not being 100% in control of the character. Point and click adventure games, I think, did that quite a bit, where if you tried to do something that they just hadn't programmed or thought about before, they would just say, not gonna do it. Things like that. Just basic negative responses to say, yeah, I know you're generally in control, but we can't let you try this because we didn't program an outcome if you did try this thing. And while point and click adventure games do have reasons why they have so many detractors or so many people that don't like to play them, it's kind of funny, we haven't seen a lot of stop signs even. There is also, I think, just having like a internal dialogue as a characters having internal dialogues and talking to the player in one way or another does kind of feel like something that should happen more often. Right, something is shooting at me. It's a protectron. I guess these things just wander. Should probably just wait, run in zigzags around it. Yeah, they're kind of just random enemies. Which I guess at a certain point during the Union-Chinese War, the idea would have been that they were so incredibly desperate. Are these dead Brahmin or are these asleep Brahmin? Rotting Brahmin. Rotting Brahmin. There's nothing on them. Yeah, I guess at a certain point they just got desperate and they were having robots try and fight, I guess, the Chinese off. But clearly, if you compare the weapons, the Chinese quality weapons in this game are the higher quality weapons. In a lot of ways, if you are particularly patriotic to the United States and you're not able to disassociate the fact that this is an alternate reality, this game does kind of oddly go rah China, and China makes better quality products, which, I mean, the joke is usually the exact opposite of that. Chinese usually make pretty cheap products, or at least they used to. They've gotten a lot better, I think, in the past few decades. going around in circles. And then on top of that, you have an anti-nuclear proliferation message.
Hang on, you're not one of them. I nearly blasted you in two. Get over here before they spot you. Now what the hell are you doing all the way out here?
Well, so this is supposed to be a small settlement, but it's kind of ridiculous. And I guess if you didn't have the letter, it doesn't matter. Who did you?
I thought you were one of the family. There's some low-life gangers who've been giving us a hell of a lot of trouble lately. They're the reason for my itchy trigger finger.
Are they raiders or slavers?
Well, at first they do their typical gang bullshit. You know, break stuff and make lots of noise. But they always kept their distance. But this last time, they went too far. They killed all of our Brahmin. I mean, that's our lifeblood out here, you know.
Speech 20%, we should try it.
Nothing. The family are just a bunch of damn punks.
So I think there might be vampires.
Are you out of your mind? I drop one of them, and the rest will use me as a bullet catcher. As soon as they roll into town, I lock my doors just like everyone else. We could really use some assistance here.
Okay, help cost caps.
Do I look like I just stepped out of Tenpenny Tower? I barely have a pot to piss in.
There's an interesting story to that phrase, because the pot to pee in was literally how very poor people in the old days used to tan leather and sell the tan leather.
I don't want to take my eyes off the ramp here. There's no telling when the family will return. Can you do me a favor and check on the other people's houses here? You know, make sure they're doing okay? Speak with Davis West, Karen Shenzi, and Ken Ewers.
Should also go here.
I can't take that. You're just going to have to bring it to the West yourself.
Let's see.
I think they live somewhere east or northeast of here. Problem is, they always travel in the dark, so I can't see exactly where they go. There's all kinds of places they could be hiding, like Hamilton's Hideaway, the old Moonbeam Cinema, or Northwest Seneca Metro Station.
See, the guys just like handed us 3 locations where none of the other parts of the game have really helped me with that.
There used to be more families living here. Most of them have dismantled their shacks and moved on to greener pastures. Those that are still living here are keeping themselves indoors, thanks to the family.
Okay.
Just watch yourself. I've got an itchy trigger finger.
And I suppose if you wanted just to be a bad guy, you could just kill this guy. You could kill everybody you ran along. I think they probably have hard programmed a couple people so they can't be killed, but generally speaking, no, you can just wander. You could just genocide this entire world. Arguably, the idea of vampires really is not a welcome addition to Fallout, but whatever. They're going to be some kind of mutants that drink blood and not true vampires. There's some things down there, but maybe not anything of real interest. I also suspect that it shifted to deep night time as we got close to this area.
Hello? Is this the mailman? Oh, I do hope my fall catalog has arrived.
I bet it stays nighttime in this area. Probably most of the time, if not always.
such a gentleman. Please, do come inside. Let me unlock the door for you.
What the hell are you doing in here? Get the fuck out.
Let's see. So we immediately get confronted.
Oh, for the love of... Look, she's dumber than a bag of hammers, okay? If you want to talk to anyone, you need to talk to me. So what the fuck do you want?
This is funny that he's cussing because no other character we've run into has cussed. And I think this was supposed to be kind of a tutorial mission to the idea of talking to more people, more than I probably even have. But then, once again, this is a quest that we could have easily missed or just never started.
We're great. Just peachy. I love sitting in my house with my thumb up my ass. Tell Mr. King that sitting here all day isn't going to make us any safer. We need to take action.
Let's see. We could just ask a bunch of questions.
Well, he's town mayor or sheriff or whatever he calls himself. He calls all the shots. When he says to get the heck indoors and stay put, we do that. Everyone is keeping themselves safe from the family. If I was you, I'd do the same. You want to know more? Talk to Evan King.
Yeah, and it feels like
they're low-life scum who decide
you're going to get
use
the
our
same
crew as their own personal
responses,
amusement park.
pretty
Oh,
much.
They're a fun bunch. I'd take a shot at them if I could, but judging from what they did to the Brahmin, I wouldn't live long to tell about it. Good. Now get out.
And see, in a lot of ways, this is probably an experiment in
You must be exhausted from all that walking in this horrible heat. Oh,
trying to just have you
comfort
walk in a
you.
room and have a
Sit,
conversation.
Please. Braley Ewers is the name. Don't mind my husband, Kenneth. He woke up on the wrong side of the bed this morning. Oh, he's such a dear. I must remember to make more of those preserves he loves
It kind
so
of feels
much.
more like it would make a lot more sense
Bye-bye.
to
Come back soon.
not have the loads, not have them go inside, and instead simply do like they did in Borderlands, where you just talk to people through the door sometimes. That saves you on animation. It saves you from wasting energy making a building and dealing with a building.
Yes. Who is it? Oh, he did? Well, it's about damn time he did something. Come on in. I'll unlock the door.
And this is like a really small group of people.
It's nice to see a friendly new face around.
So it would make a lot of sense if this was
The
your
name's Karen
tutorial.
Shenzi.
Yeah, exact same questions.
Scared out of my mind. I'm glad he's checking on us, but until someone nips the problem in the bud, we may as well stay inside forever.
If anything, this
Sure,
might be
Go. Just like everyone else.
the equivalent of a vertical slice and like an early test project where they made just this whole bridge section of these three different people, because remember, it's a very far jump from what we're seeing right now in Fallout 3 and what Fallout 2 was. That's his house. That's locked. Just like... So, if Bethesda was having competing people make vertical slices, make demos of what Fallout 3 looks like, and this would have been kind of a great example. You have a whole area that you would fall to your death if you tried to reach, but you could depict it very nicely. Like that maybe this was more of a demo than even a internal pitch. You've got some environmental storytelling with the outhouses, although I don't see the real point of having two outhouses right next to each other. But yeah. I don't know how you would have two demos per se though. Like, or two tutorial sections. And I'm just looking for things because I'm not surprised that you have David West here dead. They have bite marks on their neck area. They go to the bone. The lack of blood stains on the sheet is strange, as any bites or wounds of that death should have caused massive bleeding. So, I'll take that since it's not stealing. So, two of them are dead, and it says the family. They may not be actually vampires. They may just be making blood packs. Okay. Quest blood ties. We're supposed to deliver Lucy's message to the west. Well, I don't know how I delivered a message now to somebody who's dead. Let me just check my items. Let's see. Miscellaneous should be a sealed envelope. And I don't think there's any way you wouldn't have found them dead.
Well, is everyone okay? What did they tell you? Everyone okay?
Let's see. I have a message from for the West family.
The family must have gotten to them in the last attack. Sons of bitches. Damn it! If only we had more men, we could stand up to them. I'm sick of them terrorizing this town. Wait a minute. When you searched the West's place, did you find their son Ian's body? This has to be the work of the family. I've caught that weirdo leader of theirs talking to Ian down by the river. Look, I know I've asked a lot of you already, but you have to find that kid. He deserves better than all this. Bite marks on their necks. That's the strangest thing I've ever heard. The family must have attack dogs with them or something. Oh, this is all I needed right now. What am I going to do? They'll
So
keep
slow.
coming back until all of us are dead. I can't take that. You're just going to have to bring it back to Lucy or to Ian if you can find him.
Okay, so we have to accept this quest.
Thanks, kid. You're all right. Next time I see the family, there's going to be hell to pay.
Okay. So now the quest is to locate the family and deliver the message if we can. I wanted to turn on this radio, but oddly this also doesn't seem to work. Wow, is this game just like really glitched, or can I only turn on... Oh, I guess you can only turn on radios in certain areas. Okay. I guess I understand that. Item-wise, let's get over to apparel. That should be just our default thing. Data-wise, we'll go over to old map. Okay. Let's go. So unless I'm gonna get grabbed and teleported from by the family, I guess I just have to walk down here. And it does kind of feel like as I'm walking further and further down this way, it's starting to unlock a potential setup where it has to be nighttime. And we'll just... I guess you probably could tell what time it is via some thing. It says it's like midnight, 10 a.m. I think. Midnight and 10 minutes. So, how long is an in-game minute? Not long. It's about every 5 seconds is an in-game minute from the feel of it. Alright, so we have these little triangles. I guess these little triangles point to locations on the map, so I could have been potentially following little triangles this whole time. This system is broken, though. Really, really broken system. It should just have me pick who I want to shoot and give up on the whole idea of targeting different limbs. Because that's not worth anything. So this is like a baseball field. At least it was. So that would explain why they're attacking with a baseball bat. Let's check all the bases. See if they can be activated. Now, where's the other base? Feels like it should be somewhere around here. Baseball. This base. That base. Pitcher's mound. Baseball glove. How much time has passed now? About an hour in game time. Yeah. So that's Ford and Flash's Memorial Field. And I guess I could just constantly follow the non-filled in triangles if I need to just fill in. If I want to just fill in everything on the map, or I could just wait until I get the final level perk that would just fill in everything on the map. Here we have these speakers you would connect to the cars. Alright, super mutant. Was not expecting a super mutant there. That collection of clouds looked like it might be fake. Futurism Illustrated. Carton of cigarettes. I wouldn't be surprised if there is a reward, like one single book or item. I may never find the super mutant. There, found him. Lucky. Super mutant brute. Come on. Where are you? I'm getting blown up. But he's not really doing that much damage to me. Of course, we got a bloat fly here. Like fighting two different people on two different fronts. Yeah, it seems to think I would take him out way easier with a headshot than I am actually taking him out. So it doesn't seem like it is calculating a factor of his damage resistance into the damage it thinks I'll do. And by the way, we're not really finding interesting these little cubes. Not something you can pick up. So why are the cubes not something you can collect, but the tin can something you can collect? Doesn't really make a lot of sense. Let's see, which way are we facing? We want to go to Hamilton's hideaway, which I think is a little bit more this direction. I wouldn't be surprised if it is actually in the middle. We've got a guy over here. Couple mole rats coming for me. Yeah, we've stopped finding caps. One, two. Murloc. And see, I would have much preferred a system where I could just target those two mole rats and shoot at them. And so here we have someone that just sat here and watched the river or the pond evaporate, which obviously that's what this was at one time. They all have this number 7 on the tumbler, which you would assume the number 7 might indicate a difficulty or something, but really doesn't. And we don't have a ton of bobby pins. Not really running into a lot of that. But we're not breaking a lot of them either. There's something. But seems like the hideout is somewhere around here. Let's go in here and check what this is. It's probably a dungeon. Man, I'm really cringing my neck. Like, what I need to do is probably lean back a little bit more, and then that makes moving the microphone a bit closer the ideal, but then that also creates a potential mess on how I sound. It might change how I sound. Like, ideally, and this will never happen, I would love to have something that was like a monitor attached to a recliner, so the more you reclined, the more you could recline to any perfect angle, and then the monitor would still be at that same angle, at that perfect angle of, I assume, 0 degrees on, up and left and right. This might be a smaller dungeon, but there really is no telling. I think at this point I'm not going to grab Wonder Glue or sensor modules. I think you also probably don't want to just try and sneak around like that, because then it's going to just be too much of a hassle to get back up onto the grating. We will take scrap metal. At the very least, I would have liked to have seen traveling traders a lot more often. Just wander up to you and ask you, or walk past you and ask you if you want to sell anything or buy anything. Or just hear them yelling wares for sales or something like that. And then if they bought pre-war money, pre-war books, if they had a reason to buy sensor modules or any component that it feels like we should be collecting, but we don't really have a good reason to know why we're collecting them, at least that would give you like a small answer to that question. Otherwise, I'm just constantly picking up empty soda bottles. For no reason, I'm constantly picking up several other things for no reason. I don't know if you can actually pick up brooms. This game is making me a little motion sick, too. That doesn't usually happen for me, so I kind of have to blame probably some incorrect frame pacing or just not a ton of smoothness when you're wandering around and going in circles. Right. I'm gonna assume for the scorpion you're supposed to shoot the stinger. I think I may be wrong about that. I hear a radio or something. It might be a case that the family shows up only in the last place you search. We'll go take the jet also. Yeah, I suppose it would be fairly believable if they made it so that it was always the third place. But honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it's not the case, because every help guide, every walkthrough I've ever seen or hint I've ever seen around Fallout 3 seems to imply there is a very specific location for everything. I don't even know if there's really a need for a very specific location for everything. Like, it feels definitely like Bethesda is more in the idea of making a world than making an entertaining game where if they held back just a little bit, like if they removed even half of the junk in Skyrim and Fallout, as far as just garbage lying around, I don't think it would overwhelm me as much, and I don't think I'm specifically unique in that scenario. I think they overwhelm a lot of players with a lot of garbage. I wonder if that radio was supposed to make noise to tell us to go in that direction and check it out. I don't know what to do with the railway spikes is, because it's not like we're finding anything that... Oh, it's forceps, not caps. Seems like we've just found yet another collection of drugs. Drug users. Hmm. 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 Medics. Medics. Dirty water will leave. Notice as soon as we walk in this area, we get a different audio sound. Was there something I wanted to check out? We could read Duck and Cover. We can read Pure Dualism Illustrated. Yeah, I feel like the game is glitched where I just can't drop items now. I don't know if that's going to stop me from making it any further in the game or not. It may not really stop anything from happening. So, got a couple of, let's see. I think feel like I was in this room. I feel like these doors are gonna just be rad roaches. Head. And then torso. I guess that's probably one of the few times I'm going to get an opportunity to use VATS to take out 3 different people at once. And it only is going to work with something super weak like a rad roach that is also super close to us. This feels like Slavers. I mean, what this definitely gives the feeling of is that this could have been a facility. There's enough cots here, certainly. But I don't see any way you would ever want to build a shelter underground when rad roaches have a chance of digging in. It would make a lot more sense to find a building that's still standing and try to be on the top floor. Maybe destroy and demolish the lower floors. And then use ladders that you can lower and raise. They never get into the ocean either. Interestingly enough. Let's see. You could easily make a Zelda Windward Sails style game where you're mostly on the ocean and thus not a lot is expected as far as enemies and confrontations, and you can have people just sailing. Although, in all fairness, the original version of the Zelda game on the ocean was only created because of a need to hide loading screens, or want to hide loading screens. And when they re-released it, they significantly reduced the amount of square footage that the ocean took up. Cell door requires a key. Okay. So we've got to just run back, I guess. Best as I can tell. Unless I just missed. I would need some named character or some key. And if it was going to be anywhere, I'd think it would have to be on the person of someone, probably in this room. And I'm trying not to pick up things. Whereas somebody more willing to become over encumbered would have just picked up everything and potentially found the key. And I have to say, this is total BS at this point, because I even was trying to wait and not go into locations until the game mentioned those locations to me and told me about them. And it definitely told me about this location. Definitely feels like they're kidnapping children or selling children into slavery. You know, you may notice there are very few kids in this game. I assume that's not just because they didn't want to overly encourage you to shoot them. They just didn't, I imagine, have any need to write them into the story. Well, that's unsatisfactory, to say the least. Next location, Northwest Seneca Station. Oh, and we're almost out of bullets. So, move over to the Chinese assault rifle. Yeah, it's getting intense, to say the least. Trying to not end up with a crick in my neck after playing this, putting in good 9 hours a day playing Fallout 4. It's just a little too much. I don't know how you would have really reduced it by much, though. Like, without drastically making an abridged version of Fallout where you're just fast traveling me from one location to the other and showing me a cutscene of walking from point A to point B. Which, in all fairness, that is what Fallout 1 was. And so maybe they shouldn't have so quickly abandoned that as an idea, instead of just having a top-down map where you walk to locations. Maybe there would have been a smart move there. Right. Doesn't seem like I can climb up there. Let's get back on the road and see if we can find any mines. There's really far too few of these. Speed limit 50 in the 40s. 50 is pretty fast. Interesting, that one's not even a trash bin at all. Still getting a ton of pop in. Cornucopia of fresh groceries. Okay. Seems like the idea here to really look at these maps and map out what the city is supposed to look like. Or where these metro tunnels are supposed to connect to. But if that was really important to figure out how the metro tunnels were supposed to connect, they needed to really connect. And that then opens up an interesting idea, since we've seen all of these tunnels and they aren't connected. What if there was a major quest here to clear out each of these metro stations and then have settlers take it over?
Let's talk about government, shall we? Or more specifically, your government for America, the Enclave.
Yeah, if the
Just who is the Enclave? Why?
if settlers had taken over and restored
Enclave is you.
the entirety.
The Enclave is your sister,
This
your
is
aunt,
weird.
your friend, your neighbor.
There's a single cigarette
Yes,
in the sink.
the Enclave is me as well. As your president, it is my
Okay.
responsibility to preside over our
I
great
think the way you do this,
So, as
if you have a save here,
I am
is
the
you
voice,
pick this first.
I am the heart and soul of the Enclave. That is to say, I am the voice, heart,
And then
soul.
you hack this terminal.
But only together can we hope
Start
to
with
reach our full
leading,
potential, the way we were before the war.
which
Beautiful, powerful.
probably letting.
One Enclave, one America. Now,
Let's go and skip this.
forever.
Disengage a lot.
Now, dearest America,
Hmm.
we must say farewell. For there is much work to be done.
Hmm.
And the Enclave never rests. Never. Till we meet again.
The Enclave radio clearly doesn't have much to say. There's an interesting question. What is the value of a bullet? How many bullets are being fired when I fire? On an automatic, is it 3 bullets that get fired on this automatic, or is it 1 bullet? Nuka-Colas. I guess there's almost the thought that maybe Nuka-Colas are just incredibly prevalent or aren't really as desirable as the game makes them out to be. I would say the value of a bullet for 2 XP is probably worth it. Even 1 XP is probably worth it because you have almost a finite amount of XP you can get, because most of these areas don't feel like they ever respawn characters. That's one down. That's two down. And see, this would be a great point where it would be nice if you could... Yeah, it's taking 3 bullets every time I take a headshot. If I could shoot the motorcycle and make it blow up. Man. Just right next to him and still missing. That would have been really cool if I could have shot the motorcycle and blown him up, but no such luck. Now I am once again over encumbered. If you were going to make an abridged version of this, you probably would have you like walk around a city and still it would just be like an invisible barrier, I would imagine, is what you would want to do, or a gate around each city, and then you would fast travel to the next section. Alright, apparel. Let's get that repair up and start repairing things. See, it's not a lot to be said throughout all of this. I might not actually be turning up and repairing things quite as well as I think I am, but that's probably something to concern myself with another day. And we are getting caps, but I really don't know where I get all these caps from. I must just pick them up when I kill somebody. Is that you must just get an amount, and the game just doesn't tell you. Normally I would take a break at this point, but I'm a little afraid. Well, actually I would have taken a break earlier. Yeah, I'm going to take a break, a short one I think, and then we'll come back for a bit of a wrap up. Alright, be right back. Okay, I'm back. Let's continue. Alright. So, yeah. Guys just gonna straight up talk to me?
You're not here to try and steal my secrets, are you?
It's so weird. Like, it's so weird that very rarely we run into these kind of conversations.
Good. I was afraid I was going to have to abandon my lab here. That would mean starting all over again. It's not easy trying to make Ultrajet, you know.
Interesting. So maybe I could have been turning Jet into Ultrajet.
I suppose you could say that. Ultrajet is almost double the potency of Jet. Perfect for ghouls. Jet barely affects us, you see.
Well, then why not just take 2 doses?
It's impossible to gather the ingredients together. Say, you might be able to help me with that. Yeah, no kidding. I didn't think you were a freaking charity. It takes 3 things to make Ultrajet. 2 of the ingredients I got plenty of. The other one is a little harder to find. Sugar bombs. For every box of sugar bombs you bring me, I'll pay you 15 caps. So you in?
Let's try a speech check.
Nope. It's 15 each. You want to do it or what? Good. Now get going. I have a ton of preparation to do.
Okay. This is funny because I am not... Well, apparently I need to use the stim pack. Wasn't just really expecting that it would just kind of in there. Let's see. Mariesta service top. No. So he wants sugar bombs and he'll give me caps, but nothing else. So let's see what's down here. Oh, I'm getting like one rad a second. This may be a mistake. But what does any of this have to do with the family? Because wasn't that what we were looking for? Because we're not finding the family here at all. Here we have another murloc. Suppose, do we have any reason for murloc meat? Not really. I kind of feel like this is just going to take me outside. And not be a big tunnel area. But it could be. I probably could find a whole bunch of sugar bombs in a couple different places. But I'm not sure if it helps me really. I mean, it'll just give me money. And I guess I could use some money. But now we've created yet another place where yet another place where we'd have to run. Is this? If we look at the local map, somewhere where we've been before. Seemingly not. So we may have found another way in which these metro stations somewhat connect. Although they seem like they somewhat don't connect also. Did I miss side section there? I'm gonna assume no. That actually doesn't go anywhere. And I think that's probably the exit. Alright, so baby carriage needs a 60 to be disarmed. There's nothing in here. This game does kind of feel like it just jumps around too much for its own good. Capital Wasteland exit there. Take the scrap metal. You almost would like a resource management concept, and maybe that's something that Fallout 4 could have embraced a little bit more, where you could send specific caravans, traders to specific people to sell things. Like you could definitely create a whole economic growth system in which you find out that this guy will pay you handsomely for sugar bombs, whereas nobody else will really pay you as much, so then you would just change who you're trading with to whoever has the best price. Alright, well. So, seems like both of those ended up just taking us out to different locations. We're now in some kind of train yard. We've got a group of ferals.
Hello.
Hmm.
Hey.
Seems like these guys probably, since they're nameless, don't want to give me any trouble. Okay. Where are we on the world map? Just using a stim pack. We're here, which is very far away from here. Our quest is to locate the family, and they said it was somewhere northeast. So I should just turn around and walk in this general direction, because none of those took us to the right location. Item wise, we're kind of heavy. We should, I suppose, just look, get a general visual. Okay, northeast. Definitely would make a lot more sense if there was more people, ghouls or just humans, that were around flaming barrels. People that would trade with you, people that you might be able to talk to. I may be collecting a lot of things here that don't matter in the long run, or don't matter at all. I may just completely misremember from the first time I played this game. See, as soon as you get like slightly away from him, you start getting attacked. I'm low on bullets, relatively speaking, so I don't want to get crazy. That church does look interesting. does it make sense that vampires would be in a church? Not really. But do I think they're really vampires? No. Well, there's something in this general direction. A triangle. So unless we run into super mutants or something, we should just try to run in that direction. Apparently I'm not wearing no, I'm not wearing the mask anymore. I'm wearing the bandana, I guess, to increase my perception. Yeah, unless we run into like heavily irradiated areas or super mutants or something, it does just benefit us to continue following the unfilled in triangles. This just feels like another one of those cities that is just a collection of 3 or 4 buildings. I don't inherently hate that idea of it only being a few buildings and it just being a lot of rubble otherwise. But probably would have been a little bit too much if it was like this the whole time. Germantown police. Let's see. Really goes to show how deadly that can get. Alright, so Germantown Police Headquarters. Do we want to investigate it and take on super mutants this whole time, or? Yeah, there's definitely some weirdness in that you can just, on very easy, take out these super mutants. When these guys would have been totally killing me left and right. If I was playing on even normal. Arguably, very easy is just too easy. It really shouldn't be an option. Or if you're going to make very easy, then you need to address probably doubling the amount of damage or doubling the amount of caps you get. Just making it so stupidly easy that the game feels kind of ridiculous. Because even here, like, I'm still struggling with the currency part of this game, but I'm not really struggling with anything else. But I am except for the bullets part of the game, which I guess is the other thing. You can see a gore bag, which I can grab a mutilated torso. I don't know if we need to have mutilated torsos, though. So you have these kind of military tents. We have not found another companion. But it really feels like we should have found another companion by now. Here we have a centaur. So we found a new creature. Something that spits. How are we on the local map? Yeah, I don't think I could pick this. You need a level 100. And yeah. So if we were going to assume that the family was more northeast than that, I kind of don't buy that. I'm going back this way and maybe a little bit this way. Let's go check out that. That way would be the church. Where's that way? Doesn't look like too much. And that way looks quite like a lot. Can I get down the hill without falling to my doom? Yeah, this just looks like a giant facility. And sure would make more sense for me to have a quest and a reason to go this way before I find out it's just full of super mutants. I'm fairly certain I never made it to this location when I first played the game. I don't recognize this at all. Just kind of walk next to it and see if that's close enough. Nope. But we very rarely now are running into scenarios where we get a new quest started. And that just feels really, really weird. This whole section may just be walled off for now because it's some main storyline thing. I wouldn't even be upset if that was the case. But yeah, it kind of sucks that you would potentially find something like this and then realize that it is just one of many sections, nearly half this game, that I never saw. And you don't really need to see them. And in all fairness, that they're not really doing you a great job.
Hold it right there.
Of
Nobody's allowed into Paradise Falls except on slaver business. And I get to decide what qualifies as slaver business.
Alright, so this is a Let's find out what Paradise Falls is.
Are you kidding me? You've never heard of Paradise Falls? What? Are you right out of the vault? Paradise Falls is home to the slavers. Up there we sell the slaves that we capture out in the wastes. So, unless you're either buying or selling, piss off.
Okay.
Yeah, well, you don't like it? Keep walking. It's that simple. You got something else to say, or did you just come here to preach at me?
Hmm. Hmm.
Like what? Don't be wasting my time out here, or I'll throw you in the pens with the rest of the meat. Yeah, supposed to be some kind of gang or something. Big deal. They wouldn't dare come around Paradise Falls.
Hmm.
You want to look around?
Hmm.
Where the hell do you think you are? Stop wasting my time, asshole. Eulogy Jones pays me enough not to take shit from someone like you. Besides, there's plenty of side benefits to keep me happy.
Hmm.
What I need is for you to piss off. Eulogy Jones doesn't have time for putting up with morons and assholes like you. That's my job. But even I got limits. And all your yapping is giving me a migraine. Give me some reason I shouldn't just end you, right here and now.
Hmm.
Are you for real? You come up to a man's place of business.
So we're gonna find about the slavers.
He's the man. Runs Paradise Falls.
You're gonna have to
He's the
deal with
real
them
deal.
somewhat, I think, to
Definitely
get some
not someone
quests.
you want to mess with. But Eulogy doesn't waste his time with morons. So piss off before I put you in the dirt.
Let's see.
Think you got what it takes, do you? Yeah, I might have something you can do for me. If you don't screw it up, maybe I can get you into Paradise. Think you can round us up some assets?
Enslave criminals and the like, right? I don't have to enslave innocents.
You don't honestly believe anyone out there in the wasteland is innocent, do you? If you can't stomach the business, then don't get into it in the first place. Assuming you're still interested. Eulogy's got a special contract out for a few VIPs. I'm too busy or I'd get them myself. You get them for me, and I let you in. Deal? I'm glad you asked. I got this mesmetron thing. It's some kind of stun gun. I want you to test it out for me. A little research project. You take this measure, shoot it at some poor schmuck. While he's in La La Land, you slip one of these collars over his head. Be careful with that collar. It'll explode if you tinker with it. Tell the slave to boot it over here pronto, or his head'll pop. You got all that? I hate repeating myself. That mesmetron came with some kind of manual. I don't have time for that bullshit, so you better know how to read.
So finally we get another quest. So what are these preferred
Which
targets?
one do you want to know about?
We have Red and Flack and Susan Lancaster.
Susan Lancaster lives at Tenpenny Tower. She was one of us. Let's just say she never paid the exit price. Red is that hot doctor chick from Big Town. She made us some promises that she never paid up. Now it's time to collect. Flack used to be one of us. Thinks he can make a new life in Rivet City. He sold us out on more than one occasion. It's time for retribution.
Okay.
Great. Wasn't my idea to spend all day talking about these assholes. Bring me one of those VIPs, and I'll let you up into Paradise Falls. But since Eulogy's got me on watchdog duty all the time, I don't get to make much commission. If you round up any slaves, I'll gladly split the commission with you.
So I guess
But
if you
don't
just
get any
wanted to be
wise
bad
ideas.
guys.
I'm the guy who monitors the slave collar radio signals and notes any new arrivals. About time. I got better things to do.
Alright, so we finally level up. Science up to 50. And then that leaves us with, I think, small guns up to 60. Sneak of 20 probably wouldn't change too much. Barter of 20 is probably not going to change too much. I think what you probably want to do is improve your explosives ability, because we are running into some explosives things. Now we are at level 8, so we do have some new level 8 things to consider. And I don't think there's really a lot of reason to consider anything else below level 8 unless it's intensive training. Alright. So we could increase our VATS significantly with a rifle, which we use a rifle quite a bit. We could resist radiation. We could find considerably more ammunition. We could carry 50 more pounds, which I'd like to get the strong back. Some of these have multiple ranks too, by the way. So you could do them over and over again. I think Scrounger fixes our problem with bullets and saves us again with caps and stops making that be a real issue. The only other thing I would think about is maybe VATS, but it's not like we're messing with VATS a lot, and focusing specifically on two-handed weapons isn't as good as just having more bullets in general. Strong back would be nice. So if we were going to, let's read this note. So there's Mesmetron. So I'm pretending like I'm reading this. But sometimes it increases aggression. Or it explodes people's brains. Okay. Arkansas was in the minefield. We already killed him. So that guy was shooting at me. It wouldn't have been a terrible idea to... Wouldn't have been a terrible idea to potentially use the mesmer gun on him. I almost have a thought to use it on him. But you kind of want to get into Paradise Falls, at least to start the quest. Maybe you don't want to go any further than that. Fair enough. Like, I'm playing as a pretty nice guy, so it's a little bit weird to potentially work with slavers. That's the first time in a long time we've had any new quest appear. And yeah, it's a little distasteful. It's also very far away from where we are. This is the second time we've had Tenpenny Tower talked about also. So there might be an argument for wandering down that direction also. Hmm. I guess the other question was, did they tell me any new locations on my map? No. He mentioned 3 locations, but those 3 locations mentioned did not turn into places on the map. Which that seems fairly weird. It's also fairly weird that we just have a big empty field here. And you'd almost assume that they should have introduced the idea of regenerating mines. Because that would make a lot of sense if there was a minefield, I guess, at a certain level. That is what a radiation field is, though. Interesting, they have somebody just named Wanderer. Alright, so where are you, Wanderer? Where'd your body land? Okay. Back to our standard nonsense. This Wanderer's leather armor. See, this .32 pistol would not do us any good at all. I think we're gonna have to use the combat shotgun. Okay. Unless we want to use the... He has 45 shots, the Mesmetron. Alright. Combat shotgun equipped. Talon combat armor equipped. Bandana equipped. Back somewhere this direction is where I think that church is. What is that? Another pier. Why am I having trouble jumping? Ammunition box. 7 shots. That sure doesn't feel like much. feel like I'm just curving around. That is interesting that it knocked that out of the way. Come on. This guy has to... Man, you have to hit him 2 or 3 times. This combat shotgun's not useful. It's almost like this is supposed to be a line to tell you not to cross. Where's that church? Though I saw a church, and I think it's just generally going to be in this direction. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a few secrets if we did follow the highways a little bit more. We'll be out of shotgun shells fairly quickly. I feel like I probably don't have enough efficiency with the shotgun shells and shotguns in general. I think I'm going back in the general direction to the station. I may just need to get some sugar bombs, cereal, turn that into a whole bunch of caps to then buy a bunch of bullets, and then maybe ask around while I'm trading in the sugar bombs. Yeah, I feel like the church is somewhere in that general direction. And I walked past it a couple times. Okay, sugar bombs. I wouldn't be surprised if there actually isn't any sugar bombs in this area. There's 2 sugar bombs. But then I wouldn't... There might not be any more. And instead there will be just like boxes of Abrax or detergent, other things. Alright. Be somewhere this general direction. These bodies are just everywhere. It's like anytime I see... Here you have some floating rocks. Anytime I see a dead body now, it's just going to be an indicator of you were here. Okay, I see something this way on the radar. Is that really how this is going to go? Okay, well, the game crashed, and I think I'll take that as a message. Not a terrible crash because we know it auto-saved when we exited the grocery store. But I am definitely having trouble finding the family. I'm definitely struggling a bit to just maintain momentum here. I think this is kind of the problem with Fallout in general, and in RPGs in general like this, is that they can just really suck the life out of you if you're not super enthralled with them. And unlike something like Final Fantasy VII or any of the Final Fantasy games really, where there's usually a new boss or a new storyline twist or something to push you forward, the open world nature of Fallout is just more of the same on top of more of the same on top of more of the same. So I wouldn't be surprised if we barely finish this one quest of finding a family and then find it really doesn't take us anywhere new, and then we'll just have to follow the main story quest, and we may at that point start developing more momentum because we'll find out that the main story quest is just so much better written and more fun to interact with that we may never get off that path of following the main story, and we may just want to finish things up. What it really feels like, and I know some of this is true, but I don't think as much of this is true as it should be, is that because we haven't played the main story quest, it feels like there might be a lot of secrets in the overworld, just doors and secret panels and things that would take us to areas we don't even know about yet. But that's not really true. It's true in a couple of places, but it's not consistently true. It's not like we're going to wander around the entire wasteland and just come up with the feeling that it's completely empty, only to realize that we've only seen like 20% of it. And even if that was true, that would be just a bad gimmick, because then you would have some players that never get to that point where they see the reality there, or see the secrets. Anyways, I don't want to sit on this black screen this whole time. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to further follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.